Time now for the second quarter in episode 2 of the Paddock the Goals. We've set up a nice lead in the first term, so we are looking to consolidate and play it safe in the second term. I'd like to introduce Donald Gibb, who's the Director of Road Safety Promotion Australia, or ROSPA, which is a non-profit road safety and traffic awareness and education organisation geared towards road safety in rural and regional Victoria. G'day, Donald.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for the invitation.
And Brett Schofield, who's the Manager of Charlton Traffic Safety Education Centre, or ChartSec. G'day, Brett.
Afternoon, Trav. Thank you for inviting us and connecting with ChartSec. Much appreciated.
Great to have you both along. Hey, Donald, tell us a bit about the work that ROSPA does.
We've been operating now for 2 years, and our basic plan is to just identify some pillars of road safety. And we've been focused on seatbelt wearing, driver distraction and inattention, and drink driving. And to that end, we've created posters, that 2 metre, 1 metre posters. We've got a sticker which says "Stay Connected," which is to do with reminding people basically the key aspects of road safety that they can be aware of. Not that we want to be authoritarian about it, but it just obviously people are not wearing seatbelts nationally. In fact, 2 years ago, they found 154 drivers and passenger fatalities where they were not found to be wearing seatbelts at the time of their death. So it's pretty basic, and it's important that we get it out, and it's delivered at the grassroots community level.
I noticed on your website 2 Paddock cricket clubs in Donald and Jeffcott have been lending their support to the Stay Connected campaign. So that really does underline how important such a campaign is.
Oh, that was wonderful, and it's a great example of how you can get the young people to be part of a photo in the Paddock Times on the front page, and it indicates that we're interested. We consider road safety and traffic awareness a key factor, and it's delivered at that level, and that's one of our mantras. Our model is Norway. Norway's got the same population as Victoria, but half our road toll. And I was fortunate to go there years ago. I've kept monitoring what they're doing, and they've got the best road safety record in the world. And what I found outstanding is across Norway they've got 7 regional road safety groups coordinating activities at that level, and that's what we want to achieve. And I'm so excited and congratulate you in that we've got a model going for us in the Wimmera Mallee, the Charlton, the Bullock Shire generally. We can do wonders in demonstrating to other parts of Victoria that this can work, and we can monitor it on an annual basis so that we know what sort of fatalities, road trauma, hospitalisation per shire is recorded. And that's going to be a big incentive to go back to the likes of the Donald Jeffcott Cricket Club and say, look, this is what happened after you started this program in early 2023.
One more for you, Donald, before I switch over to Brett. Tell us a bit about the concerns ROSPA has with regards to driver preparedness, which has been really exacerbated across Victoria since the October 2022 floods.
Well, where do you start in terms of is it stress? Is it frustration? Is it bad roads? I think in a few words, it's a combination of people not driving to the surroundings, and I think a lot of people haven't taken on board the fact that the roads have been damaged. I've driven on them. There's one I drove off the Prince Highway recently to Noorat, and I was absolutely shattered. Every 5 metres there were holes in the road, and you get a young person, an inexperienced person in an old car in that sort of environment, wet, dry or otherwise. We can't stress with them enough that these are the danger aspects they've got to be aware of. That they're not all running around in 5-star cars, and we as parents and as others in the community have got it without preaching. We've got to generally highlight the fact that you've got to drive to conditions.
Great advice. Really great advice. Brett, tell us about the work ChartSec does and how this benefits Paddock and the wider community.
Yeah, thanks, Trav. Just on that last point, it's a great segue to ChartSec because, that's what we really focus on is those attitudes and conditions, driving to conditions, observing, what the conditions are like and driving accordingly. So, yeah, but at ChartSec, as the title says, we provide pre-driver education to kids around the district, all over country Victoria. We get schools coming here from year 9, 10, 11, and then even those special schools and disadvantaged kids. So we've been going for a long time, since 1988, and I think there's been over 20,000 students come through over that time, which is just amazing. And, you touched on all those things. It's, the accidents, seatbelts are definitely a thing, but it's all about that attitude, which is what we focus on as well. And then, making those right choices, slowing down, observing those conditions.
What are your concerns, Brett, about that driver preparedness piece, and what gaps are there, do you think?
Obviously, like I said, we've been around for a long time and a lot of kids have come through here. So getting them to these facilities, our centre here, is really important because we're introducing them, to the car. Sometimes they haven't driven before. So it's about focusing on safe techniques, safe skills, and also those attitudes. So, that's what we do, is try and teach them that safe skills. Even if they have already done some hours, they do learn a lot here and take away some much safer skills. So, our two aims here is to, teach kids that haven't driven before, teach them how to drive safely. Kids that have driven, teach them how to do it better and safer. But also, one of our key aims is that attitude, teaching attitude in the class, but also when they're driving around the track. So they do make, good choices, safe choices. And that's whether they're even driving, passengers in the car, pedestrians, teaching them just to be safe around roads and in vehicles, make the right choices.
And it's a pertinent time, Brett, for the Road Smart program, which is a crucial program that provides startup and basic skills for commencing that driving journey. These funds have dried up, though, and you're already starting to see the impacts.
Yeah, we certainly are. Road Smart was a great initiative, probably started 3 or 4 years ago through, Vic Roads, so Department of Transport, and then they've decided to stop that funding as at the end of last year. So that was a really crucial funding arrangement with our centre, because we could then take that off the school fees, the kids' fees, making it more affordable for them. So, there's already been 2 big schools that have sort of not coming this year. Hopefully we may get them back, but their reasons is because, purely the funding, like the discounts and the subsidy provided through the Road Smart off-road part that we facilitated here on behalf of the Road Smart program has now sort of become unaffordable for those couple of schools. So we're hoping to keep the majority of our schools because they do travel from all over Victoria, from Apollo Bay, Derrenhallam, Murrayville, across to Rochester, Kyneton, and everyone in between, including our cluster of schools around here. They do a 1 to 2, 3 day program, and then when they're doing a 2-day or 3-day program, we also have traffic lights here, so we do a night drive, and they really get a lot out of that. And the kids really do get a lot out of our program here at ChartSec, and most of all, they really enjoy it. And we hear them talking as they're walking out the door about, what they've learned. So, and the feedback we get from parents that we know and teachers, they're taking those skills straight away, and they're sort of giving tips to their mums and dads and brothers and sisters.
It seems like a pretty prudent investment when we talk to each of you today about the impacts of road trauma. Let's hope that our conversation might have some outcomes for the better. To each of you, just last year, out on the road between Witchyproof and Bort, a driver in a car didn't observe some signage, some flashing lights, and 2 support vehicles and ploughed through a mob of sheep, killing 60 of them. We've had several fatalities on the road that have claimed lives of our local people. And when this happens as a community, we all feel this really, really deeply. To both of you, what are your concerns and what more can we do as a community to address the safety of road users in Beloak and more broadly than that out on the roads beyond Beloak Shire?
Well, I implored what I've seen already through the paper and the cricket clubs, and what we want is an awareness, a street and a road awareness of road safety, so that it's constantly on the agenda. It's not for holidays. It's not enforcement times and so on. But we've got to get to a point where within every town there's some signage, and it could be it could only be small signage, but it's there in a supermarket car park, belt up and live, or it could be out near the sporting ground, a little reminder about turn off before 0.05. So that's what I saw in Denmark. Worked successfully, and I hope we can work with ChartSec and others. We can get these signs on a rotational basis, so that throughout the whole 12 months of the year, you've got these 3 campaigns, and we keep bringing them back to people. And I think that's the best thing we can do. People forget and they get lazy. I'm only doing a short trip. I just got to go and pick up something at the supermarket. Next thing, there's a truck hits them, and there's a serious road trauma. And therefore, you've got to think about the driver distraction and inattention. You can go on about the fact there's a $555 fine, but that's fine. The bottom line is you've got to keep reminding people to leave their mobile phones alone. You just cannot, and I'm certain that Brett's going to agree with me, you cannot take your eyes off the road for 2 seconds.
Yeah, totally agreed, Donald, absolutely. The distractions are the things that cause a lot of the accidents, isn't it? But as we've touched on, it's just that observation and awareness, driving to the conditions, and the more promotion, as Donald said, that we can get out there, the more kids we can get through driver ed here in Charlton. That's all that safe training and advice and coaching and tools that they can learn to hopefully make the right choices, have the right attitude, and drive safely. And with us, it's purely about funding, because we're a not-for-profit. We don't get any funding at all. Now we've lost our last little bit of funding through the Road Smart program. So, we've got to get on our bike, and we've got to get in front of the politicians again and, corporate bodies, whoever, to try and, get some funding to make it cheaper for kids to come here. Because there is those students that still can't afford it and don't come. So we want to make it affordable for everybody. Students at, good schools, big schools, disadvantaged schools, the special needs schools, they get so much out of it too. And we do as well. So we need that funding to keep going, but it's about the awareness and getting it out there in front of people, promoting, all those things about safe driving.
Can I just quickly add to this? The problem we got is road safety has slipped down the importance scale. When I got involved many years ago, road safety, we got it up to the point where it was alongside health, education, community safety, but now there's so many other issues in front of road safety, whether it's mental health, and they're all well to do, but we've become very blasé about road safety, as though it's not out there, it's not happening. But when you had 11% increase in rural Victorian lives lost last year, that should be ringing bells right across rural Victoria. That basically we've got to get road and traffic safety on the agenda.
Donald Gibb from ROSPA, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
And Brett Schofield from Chark Sec, thank you as well for joining us on the Paddock the Goals.
Thanks so much, Trav, and we'll talk to you soon, Donald.